doing some science exhibitions, and from there was definitely a pause when you start preparing for your competitive exams and everything.
Problem solving and curiosity, not essential skills which are taught in school as subjects, but these are traits of behavioral practices that people develop.
I met a founder who was solving a very great problem of managing fuel pilferage in telecom industry, but for diesel generators. So we have two tools. One is carbon quantification, other is carbon mitigation. Carbon quantification tool helps you to get your energy footprints from all of your facilities.
And the physical device which actually collects data around it. It's an IoT device?
It's an IoT device, you can say.
And it's an IP for you?
It's an IP for us.
Hi, I'm your host Pamela from Bangalore, India, and you're tuned into Season 2 of Transition Story. You're about to hear an enriching story driven by self-belief, passion, a lot of resilience, and personal growth. I'm so excited to welcome our next guest to the show.
I have the distinct honor and pleasure to host a dear friend, Madhu, who is on the show from Living Things. Madhu is the co-founder of Living Things and is a work-in-progress sustainability expert. And I have had the distinct privilege of being a part of his growth journey by being a mentor on Living Things. Madhu has come all the way from Bombay to Bangalore, beating the traffic from the airport to be on the show on a weekend. So welcome, Madhu. Thank you for finding the time and coming here.
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah. So Madhu has been on this entrepreneurial journey from a very young age. So Madhu, let's start from the beginning. What transpired in school and college in your undergrads that helped you identify that entrepreneurship is your calling?
Yeah. So let me just tell you a brief about myself. I come from a family which is based in Bombay for almost 30 years now. So grew up in a business family where grew up with two more siblings, elder sister, younger brother as the middle one. You can say the one who is like almost trying few things but getting neglected on the other side also. So that's there. And since my sister was very good in whatever she was doing, and she always pushed me to be better at studies. So that was a result. Like I was able to do well in my initial schooling, academics, and then in my 11th and 12th grind also. Then landed up into a college, VNIT Nagpur. NIT Nagpur. So there, typically, if you see, I got a chance. So in my early days of my school life also, I was very curious about two aspects. One thing is to solve a problem. So initial you can say doing some science exhibitions, and from there was definitely a pause when you start preparing for your competitive exams and everything. And later on in your like college, it again came back like what problem to solve and everything. So this is where actually it got started in the college itself. And primarily, if you ask me, we spoke to like there was a professor who had a problem. So we were looking out for problems to solve. Definitely, we have to learn tech and everything, part of your labs. And I had an amazing team member who had great technical skills. So got him along. And two things were very clear when we were trying to build this and to solve a problem. So we spoke to to a professor. She said that, hey, I've got a bunch of sheets which my PhD holders are right now doing it for an entrance exam. But that was a barcode based. It's a national competitive exam. And similarly, my friend's mother was also a teacher, and she also had that same problem. So we thought that we'll create something. And in my third or fourth semester, we studied a course that how we're going to use a logic to solve this problem. So we wanted to apply it. So the idea is that whatever we study, we should apply it. Then we went to lab. So the first prototype we created actually got failed completely. There was completely no sensor accuracy, nothing. So, and then later on we did deep research on the sensor. We were able to solve that. And my role in that was to facilitate things because he was a great technical coder and everything. But I was good at two things: helping him to get that prototype right, that structure right, and then helping him to be solving the problem in that whatever is there to. Then I saw that it's a great complementary skill set we both have, like focusing more on the problems, solving the problem outside, and then he was a great techie. We both solved it together, and then we took this prototype and this was used to it. Yeah, that's
so great. So what I heard is, A, you had a lot of curiosity about things around you, right?
Yes.
Why is this happening? How can we solve it? And B, you also had the ability to solve problems. So
Yes.
problem solving and curiosity, not essential skills which are taught in school as subjects, but these are traits or behavioral practices that people develop. So
Right.
you were fortunate enough to be born with these traits that you probably honed during your early years, and that led you to choose something which was very unconventional. Traditionally, people pursue engineering and then they look for a job.
Right.
Yeah, that's the template we
Right.
all have been
Right.
following, myself included. But you chose a very non-conventional path. So what happened in your undergrad program that led you to not sit for campus placements and go into the tier one jobs of consulting firms or technical firms, and rather opt for pursuing a role in a startup?
Yeah, so if you see my second year and third year, generally, if you are in an engineering school with great minds, people have cracked all their best computer exam and they are there. They either go for gate there so that they can pursue for higher technical education, or either they go for CAT, or they'll actually apply, like start preparing for GRE, which will take them to for MS courses. I I personally told me, like, I don't know, am I going to be in all these three things? Let me just first try myself. So in this trying out phase, did couple of more projects similar like this, and then later on I had an opportunity to be part of a management fest inside the college, where I spoke to 120 entrepreneurs. We did an
Wow.
event. So there, the entrepreneurs quality and everything, and then it made me so excited that these guys are solving real stuff. We are not able to do it in current structure whatever right now. So they are able to speak to the user, they solve real time problems. And that time there was a funding boom also in 14 15, that era. And then few were funded, few were trying to get funding, some they were trying to validate their idea. So the entire setup looked very exciting, and sometimes being noob is always a great quality, I feel, that you don't know much, you accept it, and then you start learning on the fly. So that attitude of, like, for me, I had that initial attitude to learn from others, right from your seniors, who were there part of your management fest. And luckily in that 120 entrepreneurs, I met a founder who was solving a very great problem of managing fuel pilferage in telecom industry,
Wow.
but for diesel generators. Okay, and that included hardware, which I was trying to do it in similar college, and that included some bit of platform also, and that included an interaction creating for large enterprises. The founder was very good actually. He helped me to initially experiment myself. He was very secure about letting me to do product, and then a bit of customer interactions and bit of more about, and took me to few investment pitches also. So there was an overall setup. I was also a lot of times clueless what to do, because you were in that grind of 24x7 24x7. You have been switched to three projects now, and now this is a fourth one.
You were stretched for time.
Stretched for time, everything. And then and this all started in my final year of engineering. And I think that setup really helped me to experiment myself. And from there, met this founder and got excited what is happening in startup space. This is what I wanted to do it. And then I started doing an intern initially.
You were interning with this.
Interning with this startup. And then one fine day we saw that, hey, there was a prototype which was developed. It was developed within that timeline and everything, and then got an opportunity to work there for almost 2.5 years.
Wow.
Yes.
I heard some amazing things as you were narrating the journey, and I was getting goosebumps. As a kid, you had this innate mindfulness about what is your inner calling. Yeah. You
Right.
got excited by those startup founders that came in that college fest. A small fest turned into a pivotal career move for
Yes.
you, where you chose to traverse that path of being part of a startup.
Right.
And I'm sure compensation was not very high. You just chose this because you wanted to learn. The quest for learning, those innate traits of your ability to solve problems came into play. You were curious, you wanted to be a part of that journey.
Right.
This took 2.5 years. You were all well, doing well in your journey. How did living things happen? How
Yeah.
was it born? When did it start in your mind? And what encouraged you to pursue it as a full time entrepreneurship project?
Yeah. So I was excited enough knowing how the startup is built entirely. It was very tough for me also to start off something my own, because you are a kid with some 2 years experience, and then you want to build your own company. But I was very clear that these are the initial years. If you be at the right spot and if you be there for a long time, you'll be able to do it. So one of our mentors, actually, we used to be part of an entrepreneurship course in the college. He told us, give yourself some 1,000 days and you'll be able to figure out while building it. So this was very clear that you have to give at least 3 years if you try at an idea. If it fails, it's fine. It's fine. So he gave us that comfort that feeling is not a problem, trying not is a problem. So this is where I got comfortable, and then the actual journey got started, Pamela. I can tell you, from that mindset. First is the mindset, and then you are there that you want to start up something. And overall, if you see, we were just doing home automation, highly competitive space. You are doing lighting automation, you're doing other automation, and all my four projects, there was something missing for me personally. It is something known as, am I doing any impact to the society, to others? So this was there innately, like, which was giving me that stuff, that whatever you do this time, you do something which is tech for good, okay, for a greater good. So this was very clear. And in that, once you start, actually, you start thinking about the problem statement also.
There's no looking back.
There is no looking back. And then personally, when we started going into it, we learned in that exercise of building home automation. Clearly, that's a learning, very big learning for us. We learned 50 to 70% of your consumption just goes to air conditioners. And in my previous journey with the other startup, they were building with telecom sector, and whenever we used to do an installation over there or do an operations over there was a room actually, and there was an AC. I used to just go there, take a nap around 1:30 in the afternoon because there was a lot of heat outside, and then there was an AC that made us more comfortable. But while sleeping, so the temperature was 16 degree for a battery bank, and no one is there in the room.
And you think 16 degrees is too low a temperature, they don't need that low, and they're wasting energy to produce that cooling effect.
Exactly. And just imagine the volume of over there was huge. It was huge.
So there's huge wastage of energy, which is again leading to high emissions.
Yes. And that was one of the, you can say, introspection I had when we just learned from here that AC is the largest energy consumption. So this is where the actual came in, and then did deeper insights to it. If you see, 42% of your electricity demand right now is just due to cooling.
So you're talking about 42% of electricity demand in the country, in India,
the country, yes,
is only going towards providing cooling.
Yes.
And that's a huge difference.
And if you see globally also, 37 billion gigatons of emissions are there, in which 50% still goes to heating and cooling.
Okay, and depending on the part of the world where
the world, like tropical, like India and everything, it is cooling.
And the other part is the heating.
Other part is heating completely. So this is where the opportunity. And if you see from a demand perspective, the majority source of our energy production is coal in India, and we do tons of emissions in that. And that tons of emissions, if you relate from, and if you actually become more consciousness on energy, on which is very closer to you, every time you are either using energy to cool yourself or charge your laptop or doing it, and if you try to do a bit over there, you are actually contributing it. You'll reduce the demand, and that demand, if you reduce at the source, that is your energy production, you will actually tend to help environment some or the other way. That's a great. Yes. So this is where the actual started idea coming in. Tech for good is there. Then you're going towards reducing climate change. And this is where the amalgamation came in. And there was living things was making things alive. Now is living things is for living things.
Okay, yes, living things for living things. That's a great way to summarize it.
Right.
Madhu, you found a potent opportunity where, people think about it. I'm sure people notice it, but very few people decide to take the plunge and solve it. So there you are. Now, when you decided to solve it, I'm sure as a young entrepreneur, getting capital, deploying capital, putting it to right use, assembling a team, all of it has its own challenges. Typical entrepreneurship grind, right? But you then got incubated at Sign in Mumbai, IIT Mumbai, right? And 2023, you actually launched the company formally with a decent capital in place that you raised through friends and family and through angels. How did Sign happen, and what role did it play in your journey as an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So 2020, if you see, we just did first level of initial, you can say, hardware and a concept testing. It was not a prototype also. But when we went to sign, uh, we got great supports. You have like-minded founders who can challenge your ideas. You have a pool of ecosystem inside sign, and then you have professors. And IIT Bombay itself is an ecosystem which actually nourishes great hardware ideas and platform ideas, both hardware and platform. So we are more of a platform and then less of an hardware. But still, we wanted a data layer to be very correct. So we got access to grant capital. We developed our node, and then we got access to capital which was there to build a platform also. And with that access, we were able to reach out to our initial angels like you and everyone part of the pool. Okay, so they supported us with capital also. So that ecosystem gives your confidence. Anyone who is seeing it from outside that hey, this ecosystem has done is there's some potential in that idea. So that is clearly been nurtured by Sign. And whereas from your team perspective, so my initial founding team members, right from my Shraddha, Shivani, Tushar, and Sakib, all of us together, six of us, all like have an experience right now, 6 to 7 years. Previously, we were just young, 2 3 years experience, but eventually you learned everything on the fly. So this combination of your founding team member and the right ecosystem, okay, builds your company. And I was lucky enough to be there. Definitely, there was time, and then we were there in peak COVID times. There, you needed incubation. Incubation word is real. I have gone through that.
So incubation to me is an ecosystem of support. It's not only capital, it is also a thriving environment.
Yes.
Like you plant a tree in a small sapling in a soil which will help it grow. So incubation is that soil. And I'm sure IIT Mumbai and Sign played a big role in providing that environment to Living Things as an organization. And I've met some of your co-founders. I must say, a very enthusiastic group of individuals. They're not only young, they're very, very thoughtful, mindful, aware, and very committed. That's also very important. Now, Sign happened, you launched the company, and I know you have really scaled your business quite a bit in the last 12 to 18 months. From a market focus perspective, where do you see the next phase of growth coming from? Are you going to be focused on India as a market or a geography, or it is India for India, India for the world? What's your vision for the company to fuel the next phase of growth?
Yeah. So there are two ways to look at it. So right now, where are we? We are with 40 logos, large enterprises
In India.
in India.
Wow.
And SEBI has mandated top 1,000 companies to file BRSR reporting, business responsibility and sustainability reporting, and where they have to work on carbon quantification and mitigation both, and they have to be greener soon. So this is where the roadmap is. And currently, as a company, right now we are doing 1 lakh units per month savings. We wish to go up to 1 crore units per month savings on our platform. So this is what we are looking right now. And this doesn't stop us here. We have also been successful in implementing pilot in Middle East also. So we have been in 3 countries in Middle East, and we so like last quarter only we got a POC in States also. So this is where we wanted to definitely the major focus will be in India as of now. But since Middle East is where you need more cooling and their the drives are there, geographical expectation is there, and States is something where we wish to be there because West is something is designed where you see a lot of initiatives coming up. You have more access to climate capital.
Yeah. So what I hear is diversification in the market focus.
Yes.
You are trying to also put some sort of focus on the Middle East market, which is very high on cooling because of the geographical placement. You also see US as a great market because climate is being prioritized.
Yes.
It's a focus area. And just like SEBI has mandated 1,000 companies in India to file the BRS report, I'm sure there would be regulations in place in other geographies to cater to specific climate requirements.
Right.
That's the only way we can push companies to pursue this agenda.
Right.
Otherwise, everybody is for profit, right? And nobody wants to focus on
and this
saving
will
the
not
environment.
stop just filing. There will definitely be discussion on decarbonization roadmap, and cooling plays an important role in that. So this was so I see opportunity just not now. Tomorrow there will be different mandates which will fall under climate change which will come. Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So, Madhu, I cannot let you go without answering two things for me. First,
Sure.
the audience also needs to learn Living Things as a product. It's a combination of hardware and software. So tell our audience or enlighten them a little bit about what Living Things as a solution is, so that any business owners listening to this would
Sure.
also get benefited to understand if they have to pursue their ESG goals, decarbonization goals, can Living Things really play an instrumental part in that journey?
Yes, definitely. So, Living Things as a platform has helped enterprises to accelerate net zero journey. So, we have two tools. One is carbon quantification, other is carbon mitigation. Carbon quantification tool helps you to get your energy footprints from all of your facilities across India, cross border, everywhere. Carbon mitigation tool helps you to give a clear cut decarbonization roadmap. And primary focus is your the largest energy guzzler, which is cooling.
So basically, you
Yeah.
decide,
Yeah.
like your platform gives what is the carbon footprint and how to mitigate,
To
or how to
mitigate.
solve it.
Yes, and mainly I'll focus on the decarbonization roadmap, which is the cooling part. In cooling, we have got a node hardware which takes these insights on the particular room for this room,
The,
and there
the
is
physical device which
physical
actually
device.
collects
Yes,
data around it.
yes,
It's an
yes.
IoT device,
It's an IoT device, you can say.
and it's an IP for you.
It's an IP for us, and primarily it has been designed in such a way that the manufacturing everything is a mode entirely here, where we help to the user. If you save, then only you pay.
Outcome-based pricing.
Outcome based pricing completely. And sometimes the user says that, hey, we are saving more, we don't want to share, and we go for flat fee subscription. So this is also the conversations are going over there. So, yeah, so this is where the node, the platform, our mode is the algorithm, at what time of the day, what you want, the settings and everything. This is all done real time, and this is done at a scale for an enterprise which has got around 30,000 assets. Okay, he can see a consolidation of all the assets, and then there is a layer of tracking health of that asset, and finally we have an inbuilt algorithm which helps them to save, takes accountability that we'll able to save it based on the discussions on the baseline and everything, and finally they get a carbon mitigation report that if you would have been saved this much energy, how many households would have got the power at end of the day, and how many trees would have been planted. So this visualization, and this all happens when we speak to CFO, ESG head, facilities head. So it's a holistic solution for the entire enterprises. Definitely the persona, sometimes the CFO takes a call, sometimes the ESG head takes a call, but it is benefiting the entire enterprises. Yes, this is what Living Things is at.
Now, the second question. So I said two things, right? One was what Living Things does at the platform itself. The second thing is there are a lot of young entrepreneurs who are starting their journey. Sustainability is a great subject, right? What would be your advice to those young entrepreneurs if they are starting their journey or contemplating to start their journey in entrepreneurship in the sustainability space?
The best way, the young generation which is coming after 2002 to 2005, the after 2000, so that they have great climate consciousness than us. Okay, I can say that they are more aware about plastics. They have been there on the digital age very early, social media. So there is a lot of awareness they have. They are challenging even their parents also. Why the ocean over there is blue? Why it is been not great here in our country? And if the entrepreneurs who are coming at a young age right now, they want to solve for climate change, we definitely need thousands of them because the problem is real. And at the end of the day, I see that only one thing which is I want to give an advice to my younger brothers and sisters is that just you believe in yourself and get an acknowledgement directly from the users. This age has got another challenge. They want validation from social media. I just want them to avoid it and just focus on solving a problem and validating it for users. They are more climate conscious and they can do better than us. They can solve.
So self-belief,
Yes.
your mindfulness as a generation
Yes,
will
yes.
come to your advantage. Don't get boggled by social media because that
Yeah.
sometimes takes you down for wrong reasons.
Yes.
And seek validation from the consumers or user base.
Yes.
And that's how you will reach the pinnacle of success. And I'm sure we have a great sustainability expert in the making.
Yes.
Who is building on his knowledge, and I'm sure Living Things has great places to go with newer markets that you're experimenting in. Wishing the entire team at Living Things all the best, and I wish you many more milestones. And I also aspire that in the next 3-4 years, when we have a chance again to do this conversation, we celebrate a different impact that Living Things has created for the society in India and for the world. And we have a different story to tell our audience then.
Yes, I agree. I agree, Pamela. I think very grateful for you that you made this conversation live. So we aim to be there 1 crore units per month savings, and that's what the impact actually like inspires all of us together. And this is what we're going to achieve it. Yes.
You're going to
Thanks.
definitely achieve it,
Thanks
I'm
a lot.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank
Madhu,
you.
for coming over and having this conversation. We hope to speak to you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hi, I am Saqib. I look after production vertical.
I'm Shivani, Head of Technology at Living Things.
Hi, I'm Tushar Jagdale, co-founder and head of data science at Living Things.
Hello everyone, I am Mayur Gupta, co-founder at Living Things.
Hello, I'm Shraddha, one of the co-founders at Living Things.